All right, we're here with Master Coach Brian Cooper, and we're talking about getting referrals and leads and really generating new opportunities. So, Coach Coop, we're glad to be with you. Why don't you explain to us a little about the process? We know you've had a lot of experience working with a lot of advisors and a lot of business owners and getting new opportunities and leads. So, explain that process to a little bit. That'd be great.
Sure, I'd be glad to, and hello everyone. Process starts with most of us have some people who we know who we're somewhat trying to figure out how to approach them. And that's whatever stage of the business that we're in. There's usually at least some group of people we're not sure how to approach. And something that works pretty well is to actually approach them for advice. So the way that works is fairly simple, is you contact whoever that person is, and you might send them an email saying, hey, Bob, I'd love to get together with you to catch up on things, and I'd like to ask your advice. Send the email out. Normally you'll get a response saying, sure, let's set it up. So you set up a time to chat, and then when you're on that time to chat, you basically catch up on life. You know, how are you? How are the kids? Whatever the topics are that you're familiar with. And then transition into, well, let me tell you a little about what I'd like your advice on. One is I'd like to run by you what I do, and as I talk about that, I'd like your advice on whether or not that's something that applies to you, your firm, or some people who you might know. And then you just describe your service. If it's a financial planning that you do and you have a certain kind of plan, you might even show them the sample plan, walk through the process, and then again, when you're done with your description, say, so as I describe that, I'd like your advice as to whether or not that might apply to you, to your firm, or to someone you know. So it's a nice, easy way to have that conversation without really putting the person on the spot. And then sometimes on the delivery end of that, it just might make you feel a little more comfortable approaching somebody who you know.
Excellent, excellent. So what you're saying is that we'd ask for their advice via email or maybe a phone call, set that up, and then you build some rapport with them for maybe 30 minutes or so, and then ask them to maybe set up a follow-up from there to dig a little deeper if there's an opportunity. Is that fair enough?
Yeah. So even in my own business, I use this with
Excellent.
people who I know. And so what I'll do is after doing that description, it'll be, well, they'll let me know right away whether or not it applies to them. Or they might say, it doesn't apply to me right now, but there are some people who I know that it might make sense to apply to. And you'll always hear this, why don't you send me something via email? And what I'll do is I'll say, hey, I'd be glad to send you something via email, but it doesn't really show you what I really do. So what I'd like to do is, with your permission, is establish a time, 45 minutes to an hour, to really demonstrate what I do and get your opinion on it. And then at that point, you'll have a really good idea as to what that service is and whether or not it would apply to some folks that you know. So get you back in front of them to do that. And a lot of what I do is on the phone. So I'll set up a go-to meeting in order to do that, and then kind of walk them through our services and our platform. And at that point, when they see that, generally it does come alive. And when it comes alive, we'll have some people all of a sudden start thinking about, well, here's how that would apply to me. Or worst case is they say, yeah, there's a few people I know, and then we get into a normal, well, who are they? Let's identify them. And gee, by the way, would you mind introducing us with either a telephone call or an email? And most of the time it's, oh yeah, I'd be glad to send them an email. And then you can offer to write the email or have them do it. I like to make it easy for people to do what I'd like them to do, so I'll send them a sample email. And at that point, all they do is cut and paste, and you're on your way.
Excellent. Thanks, Coach Coop. We appreciate it. This is Coach Coop signing off for this message of Coach Coop and Pro Advisor Coach. Thanks.
You're welcome.